All right, 12NF, I'm hoping this is going to be a relatively brief video just to explain the work for basically the next two lessons. So if you come into your connections folder, you should have something that looks like this. So what I've done is I've gone through and come up with as many possible connections that I could think of. So these are the human experiences that I could see appearing in the texts. And then I've also included the Green Beret, which is the poem that you did in week 8 of term 1. So I've left a link there that's a live link that will take you to all the work on that. And I put the poem into this folder as well. So what you're meant to do is read through those connections. I'll show you them in a moment. Add your own ones that you have seen that maybe I haven't identified. If you have chosen a different fourth text, so you don't want to do the Green Beret, but you want to do a film, then that's where you would write down the different human experiences that you can see being shown in your film. Okay? And then what you want to do is pick your connections for the internal. Okay, so I'm going to run through what that looks like, and then you're going to complete the planning sheet, which will be in your assignments in Teams. I'll just flick back and I'll show you what that looks like. It looks like this. All right, it's got the same grid that is down in this page. It's got the same information again about what you're doing, and it gives you a plan. Okay, so I'll come back to that and explain that as well. All right, so when it comes to planning, all right, and picking your connections, what you need to figure out is which way you're going to do this internal. So if you're going to answer the questions, then you need to pick 2 of these coloured experience connections, all right? And you need to pick 2 texts that match that. Okay, so 2 connections, 2 texts for each connection. All right, so 2 human experiences, 2 for each one. So for example, you might pick experience of loneliness, and you've got Shawshank and Disabled, and then experience of violence, and you do Dot Z Decorum Est and the Green Beret. Okay, so it's a little bit less in some ways. So you have to pick only 2 connections, all right? But, and you'll see this when you get to the planning, when you plan them, you have to have 2 pieces of evidence. Okay, so it's got a little bit more evidence that you have to explain, but fewer connections. Okay, so that really just leads you up for an achieved grade. Okay, so if you are wanting something higher, which many of you are capable of, you want to go for an essay. All right, so an essay, you have to pick 2 sub-connections that are seen across all 4 texts, and that's why I've color-coded them. So you can see really clearly which connections are in all 4 texts. So for example, hardship and adversity is one connection, and power is another connection that you can see in all 4 texts. So these are the connections that I could come up with, and you'll probably add some more as part of your second activity. Okay, so you can see the colours. All right, so some of them have the same ones, and then some of them don't have them. So for example, you can't really see loneliness in the other 2 texts, all right, but you can see them in these first 2. Okay, so you want to pick ideally ones that have all 4 texts if you are writing an essay. So basically, hardship and adversity, restriction, death, sadness, power, violence. Okay, any of those ones. Okay, you just need to pick 2 if you're doing an essay, and those are the instructions. All right, so you need to pick them, and obviously if you're doing your own 4th text, you want to have it as one of the ones that's got these same ones as well. All right, so you're going to read through them and pick your connection. And then, where is it gone? Then you want to come into the assignment, and there'll be a grid like this to fill in. So I've just given you a reminder of how it works if you are doing a question answering option, and then a reminder of how it works if you are doing the essay option. All right, so when it comes to planning, if you are doing the essay option, all right, then you'll do it like this one here, just exactly like the exemplar. Okay, if you are doing the question and answering one, obviously you just have 1 connection, but you have 2 pieces of evidence that show that 1 connection. All right, so all the instructions are written there really clearly, so just read the instructions. If you struggle with reading the instructions, use the immersive reader function that you will have. All right, so there's an immersive reader function in Word like that, Okay, so put that on and it will read the instructions to you. Okay, hopefully that makes it a little bit clearer. If you've got questions, email me or put them in a chat. Okay, put them in the comments. All right, good work. Go hard.